There are some moments in football that you remember because of the goal, some because of the trophy, and then there are moments you remember because for a few seconds the football disappears completely. And you see the human being behind the legend. Lionel Messi has given the world countless unforgettable moments. But this may be one of the most painful, because after everything he achieved, after all the trophies, all the records, all the nights that made millions of people fall in love with football, Messi was still just a son who wanted his father to see one more game. And now he has written a message to his late father that has left football fans around the world emotional. A message filled with love, regret, memories, and one heartbreaking question. Why couldn't you hold on just a little longer so we could finish it together? This is the story behind those words. The man behind the legend. Before Lionel Messi became the player we know today, before the Camp Nou, before Barcelona, before Argentina, before the World Cup, there was a little boy chasing a football, and there was his father, Jorge Messi, making sure that boy could keep chasing it. Messi remembers how, from a very young age, his father would take him to training. Sometimes Jorge had just returned from work. Sometimes his mother had to take Messi because his father was still working. But somehow the football journey continued, and Jorge was there. He wasn't simply watching his son become a footballer. He was part of the journey. Father, friend, representative. And as Messi himself described him, the person who always seemed to know exactly what he needed to be in every moment. For Messi, football was never completely separate from his family. And perhaps that is why losing his father feels like losing a piece of the journey itself. Then came the tournament that would become one of the greatest chapters of Messi's career. The World Cup. His father desperately wanted him to play in it. Messi remembers how much Jorge kept asking him to play in what would become his final World Cup. But just days before the tournament began, his father's condition became much worse. It was the first time Jorge wouldn't be there for one of Messi's tournaments, and yet Messi held on to hope. His mother told him that his father might get better, that perhaps he would be well enough to travel. And Messi kept telling his father something simple. We're going to reach the final so you can come. Think about that for a moment. While the world was looking at Messi and wondering whether he could win another World Cup, Messi was thinking about one person, his father. He wasn't just trying to reach the final for Argentina. Part of him was trying to reach the final so his father could be there. Then the tournament began. And after every match, Messi would look at his phone. He was waiting for his father's message. That detail might be one of the most painful parts of the entire story. Because millions of people were watching Messi. Millions were waiting for his performances. Millions wanted to know what he would do next. But after the final whistle, Messi was waiting for one message. From his dad. And eventually he realized just how serious his father's situation had become. But he didn't stop. He kept going, match after match, round after round. Argentina kept moving forward, and Messi kept carrying that promise with him. Reach the final. Maybe his father would be able to come. Maybe they would still get that moment together. Argentina reached the final, but Jorge couldn't be there. And Messi wanted more than anything to win that trophy and take it to his father, to show him another World Cup, another chapter, another reason to be proud. But football can be cruel. Messi later admitted that his body had almost nothing left. His legs weren't giving him what he needed, and yet he tried to fight through it. He tried to go against his own physical limits. But sometimes even Lionel Messi cannot defeat the human body. And after everything, he never got that moment with his father. When Messi returned, his father believed they had lost the final on penalties. They never got to properly talk about everything that had happened. They never got to sit down and relive the tournament together. They never got to share that final moment the way Messi had imagined, and perhaps that is why this next part hurts so much. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I don't know how to move forward. For most of his life, Messi knew exactly how to move forward. There was always another training session, another match, another season, another trophy to chase. Football gave him direction, but now, without his father, even football suddenly feels different. Messi admitted that he now has doubts about whether he will continue playing for much longer. And that tells you just how deep this loss goes. Because Jorge wasn't simply watching Messi play football, he was one of the reasons Messi became the man and footballer he is. And then Messi asked the question that may break the heart of anyone who has ever loved a parent. Why couldn't you hold on just a little longer so we could finish it together? Just a little longer. That's all he wanted. A little more time. One more conversation, one more match, one more celebration, one more memory. Messi then went back to his childhood. He remembered his father taking him to training as soon as he came home from work. He remembered his mother taking him when Jorge couldn't because he was working. And, of course, he remembered the matches. His father rarely missed them. He suffered watching Messi. He celebrated watching Messi. But Messi jokes that his father never gave him too many compliments. That detail almost makes the message feel even more real. Because behind the world's greatest footballer was simply a son, looking up into the stands, hoping his dad was proud. And Jorge wasn't only Messi's father, he was also his friend, his representative, his guide, the person who could argue with him, disagree with him, and somehow still end up being right. Messi admits that even after arguments and disagreements, things often ended up happening exactly the way his father said they would. That's the relationship between a father and his son. Sometimes complicated, sometimes stubborn, sometimes full of arguments. But underneath all of it, love. And then Messi reaches the part that isn't about what he has lost. It's about what remains. He says his father will always be present, especially in the way he raises his own children, because Messi intends to teach his children the way he and his siblings were raised. The lessons his father gave him won't disappear. The memories won't disappear. The love won't disappear. And perhaps that's the most beautiful part of this entire story. Jorge may no longer be standing beside Messi. He may no longer be sitting in the stands. He may no longer be waiting for the final whistle so he can send his son a message. But a part of him is still there, in Messi's children, in Messi's family, in the values he carries, and in every memory of the little boy who once needed his father to take him to training. For millions of us, Lionel Messi will always be the footballer who gave us unforgettable memories. The goals, the trophies, the World Cup, the magic, the moments that made us jump off our seats. But to Jorge Messi, he was simply his son. And perhaps that is the part Messi will miss the most. Not the trophies, not the records, not the fame, just being his father's son. And so, after a lifetime of football, after everything they experienced together, Messi's message ends with the simplest words of all. Rest in peace and look after us from above, just as you did here. Thank you for everything. And then, I love you, Dad. Sometimes behind the greatest footballer in the world, there is simply a son who misses his father, and that is something no trophy can ever replace. If this story touched you, I want to know something. Where are you watching from? Drop your country or city in the comments and let me know. And if you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, take care of the people you love, because sometimes we don't realize how precious one more conversation, one more hug, or one more game together really is. Until it's too late. See you in the next one.